Hi, I'm Rick Dior, and welcome to Snare Drum of the Week, episode number 12. This will be the last episode in this season. We'll resume in a month or two. So the last snare drum I wanted to show everybody today, or in this season, is the Brady Wandoo Burl Jarrah Ply snare drum. That's a mouthful. All right, so everybody knows about Brady drums. They're extremely expensive now. They're not made anymore, but there's certainly lots of them online if you want to pay over $2,000 for one. I got this drum in 2002. I actually have had lots of Brady drums in my career, many. And I've sold all of them except for this one over time. So I had staff drums. I had one staff drum that actually fell apart. I guess in Australia, the climate was so different and the glue they were using was so different. When it got here, it dried out or whatever and it just fell apart. So I had it repaired and worked great, and then I sold it. So I've had a lot of different Brady drums, Jarrah Ply drums. I think those are the best ones personally. Deep ones. This happens to be a 4-inch drum, which I love 4-inch snare drums. You know, if you watch this channel, I have many 4-inch drums that I love. Copper drums like the Smitty Smith drum, the Premier Aurora Lace drums. I have a couple of those 4-inch drums. This is one of the only wood drums I have that's 4-inch, and that's why I'm keeping it. So it's the last one I have left. So we'll talk about this drum today, and then I'll play it on the drum set for you. So let's go through it. First of all, it's a 10-lug snare drum. It's got basic, very basic hoops, not die cast, so your normal run-of-the-mill hoops. I did change the snares to pure sound blasters. So I really like these snares on the Brady drums. And I'm using a ribbon. I use a ribbon with these pure sound snares. I think it works better. That's the only snares I use a ribbon. By ribbon, I mean what attaches to the strainer to the snares, okay? The strainer is a Nickel Drumworks plastic strainer with some metal. I am not fond of this plastic. It will crack over time. You could replace it with a regular Nickelworks strainer, or any strainer really. Put an indie strainer on here. I'll probably do that one day. But it's holding up. It's got no adjustment on the back on the butt plate there, okay? And the heads I'm using a Remo coated ambassador on the top, which I just put on here a couple weeks ago for a session, so I'm not going to take it off. And then the bottom, I have a very thin Remo Diplomat, which I like on these Brady snares. You could put an ambassador snare on there, but the Diplomat's even thinner, so it's very sensitive. So this is serial number 428, made in 2002, and obviously the drums were made in Australia. Brady is no longer in business. So we'll show you underneath it now. See if I can zoom in. It's kind of hard. There's a lot of reflections with the heads on. You see that mic there. There's the vent hole. And we'll show you the snares. These are what the blaster snares look like. I don't know why, but out of about 50 different sets of snares I tried on this drum, these sound the best. And there's the strainer. Smooth, works. I don't really like the plastic clear though. And he's got on the tension rods, they have a double whammy here to keep them from loosening up. So you see that, like a softer one under it. Zelkova does that too. Canopus, I mean, on the Zelkova drums. It works well, so that the tension rods don't loosen up on you. It's got the standard Brady tube lug there. And let's see if we can find the label. All his drums had a label. There it is. I know it's upside down, so we'll flip it. So there's the date. So it's July 22nd, 2002. Talk about being specific. And there's the website, which I don't know if that's up anymore. Yep. So you know you got a real Brady drum when all that stuff's on it. It's pretty obvious. And we'll look at this Burl, which is absolutely gorgeous. And it's satin finish. It's not, there's no gloss on it. I could put some gloss on it, would really pop, but I'm going to keep it the way it came. And here's that marching drummer. I call it the soldier logo, but really is a marching drummer. Now, a lot of the old Brady's had the plates. I'll show you one here. A lot of my old Brady drums had those. I much prefer this. The plate was ugly that they put on these drums. This is much more classy. And that's it. So, pretty straight ahead drum. Just a great sounding drum, for sure. They sound different pretty much than anything else. Jarrah is a really great wood to make, Australian wood to make drums out of. It's fantastic. Okay, so we'll go over to the drum set and we'll play it and we'll see what you think. So here we are at the drum kit. I'll play the drum at several different tunings. I'll play it muffled and unmuffled. So this is what I consider sort of a moderate tuning, a little bit high. This is the tuning I normally use for this drum. So it's a poppy drum. It feels always a little bit loose, which is nice for some things and not so nice for others. So I don't consider it one of my favorite jazz drums because it always has sort of this looseness to it. It's a weird feeling drum, but great for backbeat stuff. Now let's crank it up. Oh, actually, first let me let you hear just a little of it muffled, because it's definitely got a different thing muffled more than most other drums. So that's the vibe of that. It gets extremely dry for whatever reason. And this is just a tiny piece of leather there. All right, but cranked up, that's my favorite kind of tuning, just a little more. So it's sort of a moderate tuning to a high tuning is where this drum is most functional. But I'm going to play it for you low in a minute, and you'll just laugh because it's got a personality. So this is high. So very, very poppy there. Good tuning for this drum. And now we'll play it really low for you. You'll love this. So normally it's about a full turn will equal a step and a half, which is a minor third down. All right, that's how I do it. And a half turn will get you a half step. With these 10 lug drums, anyway. All right. love it down that low. It's got a feel, just juicy. A lot of 4-inch drums you cannot tune down that low. They just basically bottom out. This one still sounds good. So it's got a very wide tuning range. But once again, my favorite tuning is in the middle of those two, the high one and the low one that I showed you. Now keep in mind, this is a little itty bitty jazz kit, 18-inch bass drum, 10, 12, 14. For the next series or the next season, we'll switch out drum kits. I just wanted to use the same kit for the whole series so you got used to it, how it reacted with this drums. But a deeper bass drum, I think, would give this drum more of a context. So we'll play a little and we'll see you soon.